we can now understand from another perspective what really Rosh Hashanah is about. If on this day, the idea of the fall of Adam took place, and he encompassed all of the souls, meaning you and I and the whole world, then Rosh Hashanah, which is already mentioned in the Torah, because it was not Rosh Hashanah. It was not Rosh Hashanah, the new year. It was not Rosh Hashanah, the new year, as we understand at the beginning of the world. Rather, the code in the Bible, when it says it is the seventh month, it's telling you, make no mistake. Make no mistake, we are not discussing here times. What we are discussing is 7, the number 7. And that's why it was designated the 7th month. Why was it designated the 7th month in the Torah? As we know, the whole Torah, unfortunately or fortunately, is a cosmic code. Without the Zohar, we have absolutely no way to understand the real implication, the real benefit of the tools that were given to us by virtue of the Torah. And therefore I go to the Zohar to give us clearly the idea about what Rosh Hashanah is when it says the 7th month. Because we now must bear in mind that it is no longer a happy occasion. It is no longer celebrating our birthday, because on that very day that we were born, that very day we experienced the fall of Adam. We experienced the beginning of chaos and disorder. That's what Rosh Hashanah is about. The beginning of Shana. And what does Shana mean? Year. And you should all ask yourself the question, the way I ask myself the question, who started off the 7 days of the week? Seriously, think for a moment. What would be wrong? What would be wrong if the week had 10 days? Why does it have to have 7 days? Because we know that 7 is the 7 packets of energy that this world is governed by, ruled by 7 forces of energy, the 7th of which is what we call by the code name Malhut. It's a code name. For those who don't understand, because I see many new faces here today, the code name of Malhut means desire to receive. It means man's will and desire. Man's will and desire. Neither is it a happy occasion, but rather, because of what once happened, the creation, remember we have no one to blame but ourselves because we were part of Adam, we all contributed to the beginning of chaos and disorder, all of mankind, that for the first time, we, either independently or collectively, could create again and restore order and structure in this universe. That is on Rosh Hashanah. When it says we are judged, go into courtroom, judging whether we live or we don't live, this all depends on man's activity and action. It is dependent upon him how the year will spell itself out. He will determine his own cassette. Or rather, should I say, unfortunately, he can, because more times than none, we have experienced deterioration, chaos, death, because we are Rosh Hashanah. We on Rosh Hashanah have not collectively created enough order in this universe, because we have lost the idea of what Rosh Hashanah is. Well, what was Rosh Hashanah? I thought it was a new year. We start the calendar that year. Wrong, said the Torah immediately. You're talking about calendars in the sense like the Gregorian calendar? The first month is Nisan. But this represents the fall of Adam. This represents the beginning of the chaos and disorder. Why can't we correct it in another day? Says the Zohar, when God planned the creation, it was created in Tishrei, the month of Libra. Why the month of Libra? Why the month of Libra? Scales. Okay, scales, judgment. But in that day, which is the contributing factor of called the shofar, on that day you have two scales. And you